Welcome to Startup Ole. Hi everybody, this is a real honor to be here with all of you for such a challenging edition where all should go united. And we are really glad because our keynote speaker, the first one, the major one in this edition, is our commissioner, the European Commissioner of Innovation, Research, and many other things, Maria Gabriel. So let's all welcome smoothly to our commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear community of startup. I'm delighted to be here today to kickstart together with you this Startup Ole conference. And it's a great pleasure and honor for me to be part of such an engaged group of startups, investors, and industrial players. I want to take a moment to congratulate the organizers of Startup Ole for the excellent work they are doing to build a vibrant innovation ecosystem by connecting Spain's ecosystems with the rest of the European innovation ecosystems and Latin America since 6 years ago. I'm particularly proud that this platform is the result of a European project. And this shows that the value of the European programs always far outweighs the cost. I'm passionate about startups, their energy, their commitment, their capacity to change things for the best. Europe really needs you today more than ever. Under my leadership, I turned Startup Europe into the lighthouses of the Commission activities in support of innovation and startups. Actually, Startup Europe has been inspirational for the design of the European innovation and several other initiatives from the European Union related to innovation and startups. But allow me to start with some words on the current situation. Europe is at a crossroad to define its future, and we need startups and scale-ups like you to help find solutions to the challenges our world is facing and create new opportunities for growth as we pick ourselves up from the crisis. That is why initiatives like Startup Ole are so important, to build a platform for entrepreneurs to connect among themselves and with investors and industrial players. As example of the vibrant startup ecosystems in Europe, the data shows that European startups employ 2 million people and have created 223 billion euro in venture capital-backed exits since 2013. Unicorns have been born in 21 European countries, and the next one could come from everywhere. In addition, the gap with Silicon Valley has been closing, measured by startup formation and venture capital-backed exits. And as we can see from the data, the situation is very promising, but we need to continue the support to ensure the momentum is not lost. The support needs to be well targeted to where the main problems lie. For instance, Europe is leading in early stage investment with 38% of all global seed stage capital. But this percentage decreases to 12% for the big rounds of investment that are the ones needed for the scale-up phase of the startups. This is normal as Europe's tech ecosystem is much younger than in other regions of the world. However, we need to ensure that the new instruments that I will present later are targeted to the real problems that you have mainly in the areas of access to talent across Europe, connectedness among European innovation ecosystems, and funding for scaling up. The COVID-19 crisis also brings new challenges for startups. For many startups, the crisis is creating immediate cash flow issues. For others, COVID means new opportunities in areas such as education, entertainment, and health. But now, I would like to insist on the support that already has been done by the European Commission and what's next. First, the European Commission has been supporting startups since 2011, when Startup Europe was launched. It started as a relatively small initiative, but when I arrived as Digital Commissioner, I immediately saw the value of Startup Europe to create wealth and jobs. And I'm proud to say that Startup Europe supported 786 startups to scale up, and many of them have become successful European stories. Under my mandate, the two Startup Europe summits in 2018 and 2019 were able to bring together all players of the innovation ecosystems, from 5 prime ministers to more than 300 startups, from 110 investors to academia from more than 50 universities. But besides Startup Europe, the digital innovation hubs and Future Internet have been other European initiatives that have allowed us to get the necessary knowledge and expertise to be able to respond to the challenges faced by the European startup. At the same time, that was a very solid base to learn how to provide quick support to the startup in view of the new challenges that even now the COVID-19 crisis has created. Another main program of the European Union for startups is the European Innovation Council. We are piloting now this new initiative. It has supported 5,700 startups and has provided more than 3 billion euros to startups in early stage. Spain is the member state that gets most beneficiaries with 930 businesses. Actually, in the last 18 months, the EIC Accelerator has funded 21 Spanish projects for a total investment of 80 million euros. Many of them are already successful in bringing products to the market and attracting major investments. For example, the Spanish innovative company Alga Energy has got financial support to develop microalgae solutions to sectors such as agriculture with more than 1 million customers. And I can continue with the different examples, but for me what is important is really to identify clearly what are our instruments, the instruments at our disposal to support startups. And as you can see, we are not starting from scratch on designing specific support for startups. Now, European Innovation Council, with a proposed budget of 10 billion euros, we would like to see European Innovation Council becoming one of the major new initiatives of the Horizon Europe program for research and innovation. The EIC will provide a combination of grants and equity of up to 15 million euros to individual startups. The EIC has the ambition to become Europe's unicorn factory, helping innovative startups, scale-ups, and SMEs like yours to become tomorrow's world-class companies. And the EIC will be fully implemented as one-stop shop for startups and innovators, providing support from the idea stage to all the way to the scale-up into global markets. In addition, it is important for the investors to learn about the new EIC Fund. It is the investment arm of the EIC, specialized on deep tech startups in seed stage and Series A, with an estimated total equity funding gap of about 70 billion euros to deep tech. There is a substantial lack of finance for breakthrough and disruptive innovations in Europe. Many European startups can't find high-risk capital needed to get to the stage where private sector investors get involved. And the EIC Fund is coming to fill in this gap. The EIC Fund provides investments from 500,000 to 15 million euros in exchange of 10% to 25% stake in the company. This fund will become the largest fund in the world specialized on deep tech startups. I invite the investors to co-invest alongside the EIC Fund to de-risk investment rounds into companies considered too risky otherwise. I know that purpose-driven innovation is one of the leitmotifs of this edition of Startup Ole. We certainly need a tech with a purpose approach that integrates social and environmental concerns in business's mission to ensure that new products and services bring both economic and social value. The EU is well positioned to lead in purpose-driven innovation. R&I projects under Horizon 2020 illustrates how R&I can foster the Sustainable Development Agenda. 84% of current Horizon 2020 investments relate to at least one of the SDGs, which means many projects are already making the world and our lives better. And in this area, the EIC awarded in July a total of 307 million euros to 64 game-changing Green Deal startups and SMEs, contributing to the objectives of the European Green Deal strategy and the recovery plan for Europe. One of the selected companies is Beridi Maritime, that will get grant and equity support for new floating technologies for installation of turbines in deep waters for offshore wind energy generation. And by supporting great innovations like this, I'm confident that the European Innovation Council will help Europe take the lead in the next big innovation wave. Supportive innovators transforming breakthrough science and technology into market-creating innovations and products for the benefit of all our citizens. In addition to the European Innovation Council, Horizon Europe will provide 3 billion euros to the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. We'll continue to support innovation and entrepreneurship by increasing the regional impact of our knowledge and innovation communities. I know that EIT is one of the traditional supporters of Startup Ole within its strategy to boost the innovation capacity of higher education. And besides the European Innovation Council and the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, another excellent opportunity for startups and innovators will be the new Horizon Europe missions. That's something quite new. It's a new delivery instrument for the transformation of Europe into a greener, healthier, more resilient continent. They are about delivering European public goods in areas that are areas of high concerns for our citizens: cancer, climate, smart cities, oceans, waters, soils, and food. Mobilizing all the different actors, including startups, is the way forward to effectively address, on one side, the short-term challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic, but at the same time, the long-term and global challenges brought by climate change, biodiversity loss, and growing inequalities. And in conclusion, I would like to say that I'm convinced that European startups are key for the future of Europe. They have become the leading job growth engine in Europe. For this reason, today is highly important to provide a coherent European approach to the many European national and regional initiatives that are designed to support startups and innovators. I invite you to reflect about the European innovation area that will provide a common approach to the numerous European and national policies to ensure that European startups are able to scale up and become global leaders. I will be happy to receive your ideas about which should be the main pillars of this European single space for innovation. I invite all of you to continue focus on growth and disruptive innovation, because there has never been a better time to create or grow a startup in Europe. The ecosystem is maturing and well capitalized, notably in the early stage, and the European programs are in place to provide further support where needed. The consequences of the current crisis will continue to be felt for a long time. We still have a long way to go on the road to recovery, but with your creativity, energy, together, we can build a Europe that is safer, smarter, more inclusive, and more sustainable. This is the moment to rebuild an innovative and sustainable Europe. Thank you very much, and I wish you very fruitful discussions and networking. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. And we have been taking note about your words, starting from the whole history about Startup Europe, where, as you know, Startup Ole was born. We are an outcome of a European project called Welcome, connecting Salamanca, Madrid, Berlin, Dublin, and Milan, with a great spirit to unite the whole Europe, as you are saying, working for a sustainable and developing the way for startups and becoming a connector all the time, well connected with Startup Europe. Startup Europe, such a great initiative which helped not just the connecting the most important dots, but also many, many dots, also talking about the rural areas or the less powerful hubs. We have been taking note, and also we want to support your new initiative, your new platform. For many years, what the European Union is doing is for the startups, for the whole ecosystem, it seems as a lot of power, a great engine supporting what the others are doing, and having a clear path as you from the Commission are developing, are building, is really important for all the startups. Entrepreneurs, startups want to see certainty in this complex situation of difficulties, and they need the European Commission working together, giving possibilities and showing the way to go. So for all this, I really want to thank all what you are doing. So again, Commissioner, also to your team, we have been working together for the last years. So we want to really appreciate and thank what you are doing. Because let me tell you one secret. We have been here, and the King of Spain, who is the president of our International Advisory Committee, has been with us in 2018 with the President of the Portuguese Republic, Mr. Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, and also in the last edition, Mr. Pedro Sánchez, the President of Spain, has been here for the opening in a really great ceremonies, all of them, with many other supporters. But many of you who are who are close to me knows that we were really looking for having you in our event. We were born, as I said, as an outcome of a European project, and today our dreams come true. And also a dream comes true because we are here in such a complex environment, and also for us, as many entrepreneurs, is really a challenging time when surviving sometimes is even more important than grow, because we are all expecting, working hard to go through this complex period where just only all united, being a great community, being a great Europe all together, we will move forward. And of course, in Startup Ole, you know that we are really connected with Latin America and also growing with North America. So we are really happy that in this edition, our commissioner, Maria Gabriel, is here with us. So now, in the next minute, we are going to get smoothly ready, and step by step, we will go and we will start connecting with the next speakers. So I'm asking to my team if we are all ready or if we need some time to move to the next presentation. So you all know me. I'm Emilio Corchado, and we want to be in such event in Startup Ole these days, already starting the 4th of September, providing a lot of content. Many key players from the ecosystem were with us, and let's carry on with the opening, okay? So we want to thank all of our collaborators, partners, because without them, Startup Ole will not be possible. So, you know, in this edition, it was really a difficult one. We went through the design of 3 different events. Initially, our event was dated for May. Then we moved, due to the situation that we all know, we passed our event to September as today, but we have designed an event with, you know, limited seat capacity, everything on track, and you know, finally it was not possible. So then finally, in 2 weeks, we move everything into digital. And doing that is, again, a challenge, but also an opportunity, because we think that due to that, more and more people has been able to join the Startup Ole community. And for us, this is really great. Let's carry on thanking other of our sponsors and partners, all of them, some of them, as I said, new partner who has been joining us in the last minute, but of course, we are a well-open community looking forward to have everybody on board, and in a very democratic way. We say democratic because we want everybody on board. So we carry on, say thank you, and team, let's move further. Of course, all of our media partners and friends, we have to thank all of them because they are always supporting us. So we move along, and this is the figures. These are the figures that we have achieved. We are really proud of these figures, of these numbers. You know that during few months, in March, in April, in May, you know that I think we all were crossing a kind of desert where moving along, keeping in touch with the community was not an easy activity. But we were there, and we are going to tell you how we did it later on. So we are really glad of achieving these figures. Let me tell you, more than 260 startups from 23 countries. We are organizing along these days more than 50 roundtables with really amazing key players from China, from the States, from Latin, from Israel, from Europe, from Eastern Europe countries, all over the places. Corporate, investors, startups, serial entrepreneurs, media, public administrations, embassies, universities. You know that the universities and scientific parks are playing here a great role. Why? Because we support talent. Is the key on the ecosystem. So we are really glad to have them. And also, of course, accelerators. More than 400 key players of such connections. And We have been organizing 320 meetings. You know, we are really happy, but we are also really looking forward to achieve and to listen and to understand and to work all together to move along. So next slide, team. We want to thank also because technology cannot be done all by our team, and we have been really supported by different teams. So we want to thank Eventu. They were supporting us with our networking app. We want all of you carry on using our networking app. Go to attendees button, and from there you can select to whom you want to send a direct message with your business model, with your contact, with everything, and let's try to connect. Also, we want to say thank you to Adventurists. They were really great supporters because they were helping us to present, to show the metrics, all the relevant information of the startups to all the investors, corporate, and so on. And of course, Sensei Multimedia helping us with, being able to show all what is going on these days here. So thank you very much to all of you, and of course, our TV, the Universidad de Salamanca TV, University of Salamanca TV. Thank you to all of you for being so helpful in this technological time and helping us to become digital. We were saying before that it was a complex period of time. We all know that during the last month, especially in February, March, April, May, we have been in a complex situation, and we have been also losing friends or relatives or people around. So we were really, I'm going to ask your team to get back still, get to this one, because this is an important, this is a really important slide. How the ecosystem was working together. And we want to thank all the partners helping us, helping Startup Ole to organize an initiative called Innovation Against the Virus, also Muy Pymes for supporting Marca Solidaria, also Business Insider for the Insider Pitch. We were collaborating with them. And then, thank you, team. We need the water. I'm going for it. So, and then also Positive Energy, powered by many energy corporates supporting the entrepreneurships. And of course, this has been a great edition, and we have been in our road shows, mainly in LATAM. We did in 2019, we went 2 times, and we did 2 road shows along LATAM. You can see we were in Santiago de Chile, Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, Bogotá, Mexico. We want to thank all the supporters, and then let's show that we were there, and it was really, really a success. So you can see the photos in the next slide. So you can see us celebrating with the winner and selecting them to join us for Startup Ole 2020 Salamanca Digital Edition. So let's move along. Yeah, Startup Ole is growing in all senses, and this is also because many partners are helping us to provide really great awards or benefits for the community, for the winner of our verticals and the final winner of Startup Ole. So we want to thank our partners, Pegasus Tech Venture, Amazon Web Service, El Campus 360, PILC, and also the Spanish Red Cross for humanitarian activities. Then, as always, thank you to our International Advisory Committee. Our king is the president, so thank you to all of them. We move along. Thank you to all of them. We move along. And then also it's time to show leading who is leading the different verticals in Startup Ole. So you can see Autotech by BFA, Energy Sustainability, Iberdrola, Mobility Acciona, Media Impulsa Visión from the Spanish National TV, FinTech by F10, Alastria, Blockchain, the Spanish Red Cross supporting humanitarian tech, and also
ahora estamos haciendo la prueba de sonido.
And also our province government supporting rural and agrotech plus travel tech. We move along. You know, this is a photo of part of the team. As you know, we cannot be all together. So many of us, many people of the team is supporting and working remotely. So this is a photo that we took. And of course, I want to give massive thanks to my team. Guys, thank you very much for supporting us. Okay, so, right. Now it's time to relax, to sit back, and smoothly, let me talk with my team. Are we ready for the next steps? Yeah, ready, guys? So let's welcome the mayor
a todos
of
y bienvenidos
Salamanca.
a esta inauguración del foro Startup Ole 2020. Welcome to all our friends who all around the world are following this digital edition. It's such a pleasure to have your attention. Salamanca es una ciudad abierta al mundo y en estos momentos en los que la pandemia nos obliga a estar separados, Internet nos acerca para que podamos seguir avanzando en nuestros objetivos. Esta será recordada como una edición atípica del foro, pero no por ello será menos útil, todo lo contrario. El reto que tenemos por delante nos insufla más fuerza para apuntalar las bases de esa Salamanca del futuro que queremos construir y para la que contamos con todos vosotros. Todas las propuestas que surjan en el marco de este foro estoy convencido de que serán de un gran valor para afrontar el desafío de enormes proporciones que tenemos por delante. No todos los días se tiene la oportunidad de reunir a grandes inversores y a personas que vienen directamente del mundo de la empresa al más alto nivel. Por eso no estábamos dispuestos a renunciar a este foro. Creemos en las ideas y queremos convertirnos en una referencia mundial. Ya lo somos en muchos sentidos. Somos una referencia universitaria, una referencia en la enseñanza del español, una referencia cultural. El conocimiento y el talento son señas de identidad que nos hacen reconocibles más allá de nuestras fronteras. Somos una ciudad patrimonio de la humanidad con mucho que ofrecerle al mundo y queremos hacerlo desde la investigación, la innovación y la internacionalización. Día a día ganan protagonismo las habilidades digitales, la aplicación de las nuevas tecnologías y de las nuevas herramientas que, unidas al espíritu emprendedor, se convierten en una fórmula de éxito. Sabemos que las empresas no son iguales a las de ayer, son más flexibles, más humanas, más tecnológicas y se mueven en un espacio más amplio y sin fronteras. Y Salamanca quiere estar enganchada a ese nuevo rumbo empresarial que impone un nuevo estilo de pensar, de actuar y de formar, unas capacidades más dinámicas y un liderazgo empresarial más colaborativo porque solo la cooperación garantiza un intercambio de conocimiento. Hoy no basta con desarrollar negocios transnacionales, hoy la innovación marca la diferencia y las tecnologías han cambiado las dinámicas a todos los niveles, transformando los modelos de negocio para satisfacer las necesidades de empresas y de ciudadanos. En nuestra ciudad somos conscientes de este nuevo escenario y cada año atraemos un mayor número de empresas del sector tecnológico, telecomunicaciones, servicios de computarización avanzada y sectores estratégicos clave. Desde el Ayuntamiento también hacemos un esfuerzo para atender las exigencias de estos nuevos tiempos. Tenemos todo tipo de proyectos en marcha para este cometido. Contamos con un laboratorio de coworking, ofrecemos espacios gratuitos para los emprendedores y bonificaciones fiscales para las nuevas iniciativas empresariales. Además, hemos puesto en marcha un programa de impulso a las startups dirigido a los jóvenes salmantinos mediante becas y apoyamos eventos como este que refuerzan el emprendimiento tecnológico e innovador. Y nos esforzamos para generar un entorno favorable para los inversores con proyectos como el futuro Puerto Seco y el nuevo polígono industrial y empresarial en el sector de Peña Alta, que pondrá a disposición de las empresas más de 58.000 metros cuadrados de terreno a precios competitivos. Son apuestas que vienen a redondear nuestras potencialidades, caracterizadas por una situación geográfica envidiable, con unas estupendas conexiones y con un capital humano muy preparado. Espero que todos esos elementos que definen a Salamanca como un lugar ideal para invertir sean el gancho definitivo para que todos ustedes valoren nuestra ciudad como espacio para ubicar sus proyectos. Y estarán de acuerdo conmigo, hay muy pocos lugares con tanta calidad de vida como Salamanca. Gracias a todos y mucho éxito. Pensamos en grande. We think big. Thank you all. See you next year.
So this was the message of our mayor, Mr. Carlos Garcia Carballo, and we want to thank his support, the support of the whole city, because without them, carry on events like this one is really, really complex. So he was saying, you know, Startup Ole, let me say to you guys that Startup Ole is an open ecosystem, an open event where people use the language that they consider appropriate. Of course, when do business, when we want to achieve a goal, we have to use the same language. But let me tell you that Salamanca is the city of the Spanish language, and we are really glad of it, and this is why I asked to the mayor to do the welcome in Spanish, and especially in this edition where we are really well connected to Latin America for the main time, and we want also to show that Spanish is a language to talk in Startup Ole as it could not be in a different way. So now I'm asking the team to show the photo of the next speaker, making a soft transition to the next speaker. While let me tell you that today we have a really great opening with a lot of key players. We will have people representing all sides of the ecosystem. We will start with some key players. First of all, we will have the next speaker will be our rector, Mr. Rivero. He will be welcoming us to University of Salamanca, of course. You know, a university for 800 years, now plus one more year. And of course, he want to welcome you to our house, to the University of Salamanca. Then we will move to, please, is the connection to our rector ready? Yeah? So we move and we welcome smoothly the rector of the University of Salamanca. You know, this venue is part of the University of Salamanca. So whenever you come, guys, great.
Good morning and welcome everybody to the opening of the 6th edition of Startup Ole. It is for me an honor to represent the University of Salamanca in this special event. The university has been one of the world's leaders in knowledge and research for more than 800 years. Its history is marked by effort, hard work, and constancy around many other features, as well as it is linked to the history of the city in which we are today, Salamanca. Even in difficult times, like the one we are now experiencing, the university has always been at the forefront in technology, entrepreneurship, and digitization. Knowing that these are our precedents, it is a pleasure for us to support and be part of Startup Ole, an event that gathers attendees from all over the world aiming to develop and promote the entrepreneurship ecosystem, starting in Salamanca and spreading around the world. The University of Salamanca, since its beginnings, has had great collaboration relations with other Spanish-speaking universities. These ties have been reinforced and enhanced thanks to the globalization and also thanks to the works made by the startup OLE. The university keeps on showing that it has always have done, that it acts like a connector for talent, corporates, research, public administrations, and many other institutions. In a scene like this, Startup OLE is a neutral space for progress to happen. Because it is supported by a public university, the barriers that anyone would have to face to enter this world disappear, turning in a democratic system that has the room for everybody. Alongside the University of Salamanca, there have been lots of other universities and companies that have joined to help to develop this ambitious and rising project. It is also important to mention the role of the volunteers, who are students provided by all of our faculties, turning Startup OLE in a place to find people with common concerns and interests, and also a platform where to connect students from really different degrees like law, biology, or economics, but find something that joins them all here in Startup OLE. I hope that this edition is as successful as the previous ones, and that Startup OLE continues on growing and helping others grow. Thank you, Emilio, and the whole team, including all volunteers. One more year, the University of Salamanca is pleased to help and embrace another edition of Startup OLE.
So thank you very much. So we carry on with the next speakers smoothly. You know, digitalization is not just open a computer and click a button. So we have been working for the last 2 weeks in a crazy way as all entrepreneurs, and you know, align more than 1,000 people to be connected. So, you know, it's not easy what we are doing. So let's try smoothly to connect with the next speaker, and let's show on the screen who are the next speakers, please, team.
Also because I have been advised that I am the next speaker, unless you say the contrary. I am José Carlos Garcia de Quevedo, the chairman of the Official Credit Institute and our venture capital affiliate, Ecoaccess. And for me, it's a great pleasure to participate in this opening ceremony of Startup OLE again this year. It has not been an easy year. Despite the current events, I want to congratulate the organizers for establishing this conference as an international reference, not only in Spain and Europe, but also in other parts of the world, including Latin America, as a reference in the entrepreneurship ecosystem at national and international level. For us, it's a good opportunity to share with you what we are doing for supporting the entrepreneur and startup ecosystem, the digital transformation, and other initiatives that we are going to share. With us in this opening ceremony, you can meet a lot of our colleagues and friends with whom we are working together, Red.es in our Ministry of Economy and Digital Transformation. We are working together also with big corporate in venture capital, Marcelino Orega, and many others who are here today, and I welcome them. The economic and financial effects of COVID has confronted us with a new scenario of challenge. And here, for supporting the ecosystem, ECO and Ecoaccess have implemented a quite number of measures that are still in place and will benefit initiative and small and medium-sized companies. First, I would like to refer to the state guarantee line, Ecoaccess, who we, as a financial state agency, have made sure that this initiative have mobilized more than 99 billion euros in more than 800 operations. For 98% are micro, small and medium-sized companies, are self-employed, are entrepreneurs in all sectors and in all sizes. And that are strengthening and setting up the basis for a more dynamic recovery and growth in the short run. But not also as a state financial agency, but also in our balance. ECO have made a great effort, both as a bank, through direct financing, mobilize more than 3 billion euros, and including new programs with alternative banking sources, like the 1.1 billion euros that we have mobilized in the alternative fixed income market with VMEF. And above all, if we have to look to the ecosystem and startup, we should be talking now, and I will share with you a little bit about what we are doing through Axis, our affiliate of venture capital, who are focusing through a public-private partnership with venture capital funds, with corporate venture, with growth and expansion, with first seed capital, incubation, and technology transfer fund. We are doing a lot of investment in the ecosystem through this private partnership with us. And we are doing, above all, through two main instruments of reference. One is Fondico Global, you are aware. Very recently, before summer, we have introduced two measures. One was we have issued the 13th call for Fondico Global. Is the greatest call we have never issued for more than 430 million euro, concentrated. More than 60% of these resources will be concentrated in the first stage of the entrepreneur system, transfer of technology and incubation funds on the one hand. And the second measure that we have committed for the next 5 years to put in the market 2.5 billion euro, 2,500 million euro in Fondico Global for maintaining the calls. And in addition to this, we have flexibilized the conditions to take into account the economic and financial impact of COVID in the startup ecosystem, granting more liquidity, granting greater share of public support through private funds, and including other measures related to digital transformation and sustainability. This was Fondico Global. If we are looking to Fondico Pyme, this is our sandbox. It is a laboratory where we have more flexibility to deal with the entrepreneur. We have launched with the European Investment Fund last year, the European Union Business Angel Fund Spain, and that we are financing through Business Angel a lot of initiative with a European perspective. We have put in place the sustainability and social impact initiative with 50 million euros. We already have invested in CREAS, in Q-Impact, and we are preparing other investments. And take into account those crowdfunding funds, crowd lending funds, we have put on the table the diversified debt fund with a target of 50 million euros too for this initiative, getting more funding for those entrepreneurs, in addition to family, friends, and others investors on that. There are very much different financial options offered by the Eco Group through Axis, supporting your project, and we are here, and we are looking for doing this in public-private partnership with other venture capital and with other government institutions at central, regional and local government. And that's the reason why we are always supporting a startup Ole in Salamanca and with many other companies and institutions that are here with us. Thank you very much for your attention, and we are at your disposal for continue working with all of you. Thank you.
José Carlos, thank you very much for your great support. And now we move to the next speaker, team. Mr. José Bayón, CEO, ENISA. Welcome, José. Can you hear us? Let's move smoothly. José Bayón, here we are. Go for it, José. Welcome to Salamanca. Welcome to Startup Ole. Can you hear us, José? Can you talk, José?
Yes, hello, thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting ENISA, a Spanish National Innovation Company of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism of the Spanish government. We are really pleased to be here again, another year in a Startup Ole. This is very important for us to join this reference event as we share a lot of commitments with the Startup Ole organization as the regional and territorial development. Moreover than just the startup aid and help. Because of this, I would like to congratulate the organizers. I would like to congratulate Emilio and his team because of this edition, this special edition. We are not able to be in Salamanca. We would like to be there, showing this commitment with the territory and the regional development. But ENISA has to be and wants to be close to the entrepreneurs, close to the innovation, wherever it is. And right now it's clear that it's virtual innovation more than ever. Because of this, it's important for us. This is the aptitude. This is what we have to do as a society, not only as a startup, but also as a society, exactly like Emilio has done with his team. This aim and try to adapt to the new times and the new condition. This new condition that we hope are going to be as short as possible. During this time, ENISA has been working a lot. At home, and most of our employees, mainly in two directions. First of all, is working close to the SMEs with life fund, life loans, and we have been renegotiating as well as other companies trying to help in this very bad moments, very difficult moments, okay? On the other hand, we have been analyzing new operation thanks to the commitment of the government and our ministry, Reyes Maroto, of Industry, Trade and Tourism. We have approved, the government have approved our funding for this year, 98 million euros, and we have been during the month of June. And we are working very hard in order to analyze all of these operations. Till this moment, we have around 30% more requests than last year. So these are our two main objectives, our two main goals during this year. This is important to say. To point out, on the other hand, I think that we have been working in renegotiation of the loans, of the current loans, and we have analyzed several sectors and the behavior of several sectors. And I think it's, in my opinion, in our opinion, and Isia's opinion, is very interesting to point out that technology and sustainability, the two big drivers of our time, are still there. Moreover than the COVID, technology, digitalization, and sustainability are going to be the big drivers the day after the COVID. It's going to be a day after the COVID. It's important to say to ourselves and also to the companies that it's going to be a day after this pandemic. And also the digitalization and sustainability will be there. So the companies based on high technology, sustainability, and so on, are more resilient, and they have asked not so many help as the others, at least to ENISA. Okay. So this is the way. This is clear. That's the way. This is the way of ENISA as a public company. This is also the way supporting this digitalization, sustainability, competitiveness of the pymes, the way not only of ENISA, but also the Spanish government. Here is Jose Carlos, David, and the rest of representatives of the big institutions like ICO and Red.es. They have done a very, very, very important job, work during this crisis, and we are going to continue in this direction in terms of ENISA supporting the entrepreneurship and the SMEs. This is our main goal: entrepreneurship as a way of life and as a way of increasing our pymes. And this is important again for us to do it not only in Madrid and Barcelona, but also in the rest of the country. Because of this, we are very happy to be here, not in Salamanca, but virtually in Salamanca. Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome. And again, congratulations for the organization.
Thank you, Jose. And also, as you are saying, we should work all together. So thank you very much. Now we move to the next speaker, please. Mr. David Cierco, from General Director of Red.es. David, please.
Thank you very much, Emilio. I'm very pleased to be here. The first thing I like to do is to congratulate the organization of Startup Ole in this edition, because we are going through very difficult times. You are doing very, very well. I have to say, for the Spanish administration, it's been a very challenging time as well. So I have to congratulate Jose Carlos from Eic and Jose Bayon from ENISA. They are doing a great job. I think we are all doing a very great job, all together with obviously with the private sector and with the Spanish citizens. I think we are fighting. We're fighting this crisis, which is one of the biggest crises we have in front of us for the last 50, 60, 70 years in Spain. And I think we have to work all together. I have to say that I think in the Ministry of Economy and Digitalization, we are doing our job. We are working very close to SMEs, and we are working very close for employees, small companies, and big companies. We are putting in place different programs. We have put in place one program, which is to have SMEs and autonomous employees to have the tools to be able to give an answer to the situation we're in right now, which is to work from home, or to work in the digital area, and to work in the internet. And here we have more than 80,000, companies and people who have benefit from this program, who is called Acelera Pyme. We are devoting more than 215 million euros in the next 12, 18 months. We have put that in place in a very short time, and I think we are very pleased with the results. And I have to say we have an agreement with the Instituto de Crédito Oficial, and we're going to finance. We don't only help companies, but we're going to finance as well their efforts with this funding. I have to say we have done as well put in place a very important program in education with 250 million euros as well. And we're going to buy more than 500,000 computers to have people, students to be able to attend the classroom from home if it's needed, or to use them at school if needed in the public funded schools, which is a great effort. We're doing a very short period of time, and it's going to be directed to people who have less resources themselves. So it has a very big impact from the social viewpoint. And the last thing I want to say is that we're going to put in place a national office in Red.es to help entrepreneurs. We have already 50 million euros as a budget. This office is going to be the meeting point from the whole ecosystem. We are going to develop initiatives to help entrepreneurs and to help them in their efforts in the next month and in the next years to put in place new business models. And because this is a very great effort, not only from the economic viewpoint, but as well from the personal viewpoint, we're going to be next to them, helping them to achieve their objectives. So again, congratulations, Emilio, for the put in place of Start Ole 2020. We know it's been a very hard time. We are close to the ecosystem. We've been close to you, and we're going to continue to support you in this edition, in the next editions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. Massive applause for David and also for all of them. We smoothly move to present the next speaker, Mr. Marcelino Orega, CEO of a great corporate called Enagas. We want to welcome him and thank you also his massive support, because he was one of the first big CEOs of big corporates coming to Startup Ole, leaving the environment and enjoying. So whenever you can, guys, Marcelino, welcome to Startup Ole. Marcelino.
Hola, Emilio. Sí, Emilio, muchas gracias. Enhorabuena por todo lo que estás haciendo por apoyar el mundo emprendedor. Congratulations, Emilio, because you're really doing a great job around entrepreneurship and promoting this spirit so important nowadays in our economy. So it's true, as a big corporate, we've pushed and we've promoted as much as we can entrepreneurship. And when you came to us, you know I have a special relationship with Salamanca, so it was even easier for us to support and to help you with your project that is year over year succeeding. It's a pity we cannot be there. Salamanca is one of the nicest cities in Spain, so I hope next year we will be able to meet again there in Salamanca. As a big corporate, entrepreneurship and promoting startups is very important. In the first hand, it helps us to diversify our business. So it's the best way we found to promote new ventures, to look for new opportunities, new technologies that will help us to go deeply into new activities like renewable gases and the production of hydrogen or biogas, or other technologies that will help us to be more efficient and be better prepared to develop our activity. I would say that these last months have been difficult for all, even for us. I mean, we've had difficult times guaranteeing the gas system perfect work. Our people, our employees, our people have done an enormous job, especially in the gas plants where they have to be confined for 2 weeks in a row. We needed to guarantee that the gas system will work properly. And technology around our startups has helped us a lot, because some of the investments we've done has helped us to better maintain our gas system. Why would we promote this type of startups and activities? Is, as I was saying, is a better way to diversify our business, but also it's an opportunity for our employees, because as a corporate, we are focused very much into entrepreneurship programs. So we have invested up to 20 million euros in these last 2 years in 14 different companies. 6 of them were projects promoted and developed by our own employees. So it's a big opportunity for our employees where they feel they can have a different career than being employees of Enagas. 10% of our employees have sometime these last 3-4 years presented different projects to our programs around entrepreneurship. Another reason why we think this is really helpful for us is that it's the better way we have to promote new jobs. We are Enagas, we are not a big company in number of employees. We're 1,350. But now, through entrepreneurship, we have created 450 new jobs. That's also important for a company like us. And everything is going to happen after COVID. All the help big corporates we're going to need to give and work together with other corporates and companies like Eico, who is promoting and helping us a lot in these new ventures. Everything we're going to do is going to be very important in social activity and promoting new jobs. We think we will find opportunities in this event. We always did, and we found some last edition. So thank you for everything. Thank you, Emilio. Thank you for being there. And you will have always our big support as a corporate promoting entrepreneurship around our activity around gas, oil and gas. Thank you very much.
Marcelino, thank you very much for your clear message, also for driving Enagas in a way to support, to collaborate and to generate synergies with the startups and with the whole ecosystem and generating such a great program for entrepreneurship that you have in Enagas Emprende, and also generating other initiatives during COVID period, such as positive energy. So now we move smoothly to the next speaker. So Mr. Ángel Niño, delegate from the City Hall of Madrid. We always say that Salamanca is not just a hub, it's also connected extremely in a direct way with Madrid. So we all feel, I have been saying this for ages, that I feel also kind of member of Madrid ecosystem. So Tim, whenever you can. Ángel, you are on.
Hello. Hello, Emilio.
Hi, Ángel. How are you doing? The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And Emilio, thank you for the opportunity to explain what we are doing in Madrid for the innovation. Gracias también a ti y a tu equipo por el empuje que estáis llevando adelante para llevar este evento de manera digital, que además está convirtiéndose en un éxito en las redes sociales. Y también gracias a todos los comprometidos con el emprendimiento y la innovación, que a pesar de esta situación estáis aquí apoyando a los eventos de manera digital, y estoy seguro que entre todos superaremos este momento y unidos reforzaremos el ecosistema emprendedor español, madrileño y estoy seguro que también europeo. En Madrid queremos ofrecer certidumbre a nuestros emprendedores y oportunidades a nuestros innovadores. Por ello, lo que hemos hecho es reforzar nuestra apuesta por Madrid Emprende. Desde Madrid Emprende estamos haciendo un gran esfuerzo bonificando al 100% todas las tasas de nuestros emprendedores. Madrid, como sabéis, cuenta con 6 viveros de empresas y 2 centros de aceleración para innovadores públicos que anteriormente tenían que pagar una pequeña tasa pública, pero que hemos decidido que durante este año y para ofrecer certidumbre y ayuda a nuestros emprendedores sean gratis. Estos despachos, además, incluyen formación, incluyen asesoramiento e incluyen cómo deben en los primeros pasos iniciar las empresas, sobre todo en la oportunidad, en la situación en la que nos encontramos. Además, estamos incrementando toda la participación de nuestros emprendedores en eventos como este para darles visibilidad, como decía Emilio anteriormente, también en Latinoamérica. Conocemos que Startup OLE tiene una gran repercusión en toda Latinoamérica y creemos que Madrid puede ser esa pieza para utilizar la llegada de empresas latinoamericanas a España. Creemos que es el momento y así ofrecemos nuestros viveros para ellos también. También les empezamos a acompañar en medios de comunicación y les posicionamos en diferentes foros. Pero tenemos que poner ahora todos una una especial atención en la inversión. Es el momento de ofrecer inversión a todos nuestros emprendedores y a todos nuestros innovadores. Por ello hemos convocado diferentes fondos de inversión específicos para reforzar la posición de los emprendedores madrileños y prepararle para convertirles en grandes empresas o que las grandes empresas puedan conocer a nuestros emprendedores. Creemos que es el momento de cohesionar todos los ecosistemas, universidad, empresa, emprendedores, inversores, conectarlos entre sí y, por supuesto, con la administración pública. Y todo ello debemos intentar que llegue a la ciudadanía, para que cada actor pueda aprovechar todas las ventajas de los anteriores y que sus aportaciones no se pierdan en el camino. Pero, sobre todo, para que todos los ciudadanos vean que el ecosistema innovador madrileño y español está fuerte y que saldrá más reforzado. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emilio, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. We move to the next speaker, please. Mr. José María Párraga, Fundación Incide. José María, ¿nos oyes? Can you hear us, José María?
Os oigo. Buenos días a todos. Good afternoon. Tengo creo un poco de eco. Emilio, enhorabuena lo primero. Hemos acompañado a Startup Olé desde su inicio. Me acuerdo de nuestros días larguísimos en Bogotá, Buenos Aires, y no recuerdo bien, pero estuvimos también en DF contigo. La Fundación Incide es una fundación que lleva 20 años trabajando con los emprendedores, con las startups. Hemos trabajado con más de 95.000 personas, creado más de 37.000 empresas y ponemos a disposición de los emprendedores por todo el territorio nacional 143 viveros de empresas, 11 incubadoras de transferencia tecnológica, 13 y 11 coworking digitales. Somos parte activa del ecosistema emprendedor. Como decía, trabajamos por todo el territorio nacional, trasladamos nuestra manera de trabajar por los 5 continentes y apoyamos eventos como este de Startup Olé, evento extraordinario donde se van a juntar más de 250 startups. Va a haber encuentros, reuniones bilaterales, digamos un momento óptimo para buscar alianzas, para buscar una manera óptima de crecer. Ya sabemos todos que ese es un problema del emprendimiento, del emprendedor español, y tenemos que crecer de la manera que sea para hacer más resistentes, más sostenibles a crisis como por ejemplo esta. Incide trabaja utilizando la creatividad, la innovación y por ese orden más un uso intensivo de tecnología como variables estratégicas para que nuestros proyectos, nuestros planes sean óptimos. Se comentaba anteriormente las inversiones, la financiación, que tenemos que ser ahora yo diría más profesionales, pero yo quiero transmitir también un mensaje y es que dinero hay y hay muchísimo dinero. Es para vanagloriarse la unión de tanta institución pública privada que apoya el emprendimiento, pero como digo, dinero hay. El problema son los proyectos y las iniciativas emprendedoras. Por tanto, aprovechar emprendedores, aprovechar este día extraordinario, esta oportunidad que se os presenta, deciros que en incide.org podéis ver los programas formativos altamente especializados que tenemos en marcha a partir de esta fecha, sobre este cuatrimestre, concretamente 49 programas formativos. Ya sabemos que esta también es una variable estratégica, la formación, pero bueno, por favor, todos los que estéis participando, los que tengáis una idea, intentar por lo menos ponerla en marcha, que no se os quede esa iniciativa pendiente para el resto de vuestras vidas. Y nada, el protagonismo es de los emprendedores. Yo hoy va a ser un día excepcionalmente útil para todos ellos, todos los que estáis participando. Y lo dicho, ánimo, Emilio, enhorabuena por este evento tan extraordinario y muchísimas gracias a todos los actores que participamos de una u otra forma en mejorar el ecosistema. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, José María. Muchas gracias, Incide. Thank you very much, Incide. Let's move to the next speaker, please. Mr. Telmo Pérez, Chief Innovation and New Business Officer of Acciona. Telmo, can you hear us? Hola, Telmo.
Yes, hello. Hola.
¿Cómo estás, Telmo?
Okay.
You are on the air.
Bien.
Te escuchamos.
Okay. Thanks, Emilio, and hi, everyone. I'm very glad to be with you here today, and I hope that you, your families and colleagues are well and that the pandemic has not caused you any greater problem than the convenience of confinement. Thanks to the organization of Startup LA for the invitation to share this opening with you and to have an active participation in this edition that unfortunately we have to carry out virtually and that deprives us for being together in that unique place in the world that is Salamanca. I really want to take this opportunity to congratulate especially you, Emilio, and your team for having turned Startup LA into the benchmark for entrepreneurship in Spain and Latin America and for the effort to carry out this year's edition. It is really remarkable the excellent agenda and battery of activities you have put together so that we are able to connect with amazing startups and entrepreneurs and to attend extremely interesting roundtables almost as we were there. On the other front, I have not seen practically anything good in this pandemic that is devastating us, but one is optimistic by nature, and if I have to stay with something from all of this, it is the visibility and the push that R&D and innovation are having in the context that we are experiencing. With the good news that this advance is taking place on several fields. Firstly, after 2 decades of digital disruption, the confinement, and the assumption that the way in which we work and how this entails in our lifestyle has changed forever, innovation has accelerated digitalization of many activities around the planet, and you just have to have a look to the value of the largest technology companies or the level reached by the Nasdaq index. Then in the short term, the pandemic we are facing has accelerated investments in telehealth or biotechnology that was already gaining strength in the previous years and to which the largest financial flows have been allocated lately. Additionally, we cannot forget how education needs to change faster than expected, whether in degrees, content, methodologies, technology, and so on. And finally, and of course, and it has been already mentioned, we must resume the most technical and engineering innovation and R&D focus on the fight against climate change that will activate a huge amount of resources in Europe devoted to it through the Green Deal for the coming years. In short, if we were already living times of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups, what is happening will only add value to all this and accelerate its relevance and even necessity to address and overcome the challenges and changes that humanity faces. In this context, you will have Acciona at your disposal to work together on any kind of renewable energy innovation and sustainable infrastructures for the cities of the future and the articulation of territories. I invite all startups and entrepreneurs that think they have something to do with Acciona to contact us through our people, our business units, or directly through innovation.com, our open innovation platform that is already working with several startups internationally. In this context and for all these activities, you know, Emilio, that we really rely on you. We really are committed with Startup LA, and you have all our support for the future. I really hope that in the next edition we can meet together in person in Salamanca. Take care all. Thank you.
Thank you, Telmo. Thank you very much also to you. And to Acciona for the great job. So, and your team. So we move along with also a new key player in our ecosystem. Now we have the great speaker, Jürgen Feuken, from the European Parliament. Jürgen, can you hear us? The mute. Maybe you're on mute?
Yes.
Now
yes.
the floor is yours.
Thank you, Emilio. You have been showered with a lot of praise, and this is all well deserved. I'm even more impressed after seeing all the photos with the winners of all your activities in Latin America. I can be very brief, I think, because we have already heard the Commissioner talking about the European projects and the European SME facilities. And sometimes the European Commission and the European Parliament do not agree on things, but I think on the financing of startup, there is plain agreement between the European Commission and the European Parliament. We all know that SMEs are key to the recovery, that SMEs are also key to the big challenges we have apart from the recovery. And the two most important priorities that the new president of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, set last year were first the Green Deal, to come to a green Europe, and startups are on the forefront there as well. And the second big priority is the digitalization of Europe, where startups also play a key role, if not the key role, especially here in Europe. So activities like yours, Emilio, are very, 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 very well regarded and important, and should be done all over Europe, or copied all over Europe, actually. And I think this is something that the President, Ursula von der Leyen, is also going to mention in general terms next week when she does her State of the Union speech to the Parliament, in order to outline how she wants to get Europe back on a good footing where SMEs will be key. And one thing I want to mention as well is that mostly we have the tendency to focus on the great capitals in Europe when we do these events. And I think your event, Startup Olé, is a prime example for the fact that we also have to go into the regions and to foster entrepreneurship out there. So thanks a lot, and good luck for the rest of your activities today.
Thank you very much, Jürgen. Thank you very much to the European Parliament. Massive support from them. So thank you. Let's move along. And now we have a really also great friend, un gran amigo de Startup Olé, Radio Televisión Española, y wow, su director general está con nosotros, el señor Federico Montero. Federico, ¿estás por ahí? Federico, el botón de mute, silenciar. ¿Nos oyes?
Ahora todo correcto, Emilio. Muchas gracias. ¿Se me oye?
Perfecto.
Bueno, buenos días. Como ha dicho Emilio, soy Federico Montero, director general corporativo de Radio Televisión Española. Hay que agradecer, como todos los intervinientes, en primer lugar, la organización del evento, a cargo de nuestro amigo Emilio Corchado, al rector de la Universidad de Salamanca, don Ricardo Rivero, también gran amigo y conocido por nosotros, por la Televisión Española, y la hospitalidad telemática que nos ha brindado el alcalde Carlos Manuel García. Así como todos hasta ahora hemos hecho, hay que reconocer, agradecer la iniciativa y sobre todo el mantenimiento en el tiempo de este evento, que la verdad es que se ha convertido ya en una referencia no solo en España, sino en casi todo el mundo. Añadiendo en este año 2020 todos los obstáculos, además que seguro que con toda seguridad han tenido que superar muchas dificultades añadidas para que este evento tuviera lugar y la organización, según estoy entendiendo, me están comentando, es impecable. Radio Televisión Española valora muchísimo la existencia de estos eventos porque pone de manifiesto la necesidad de que la innovación forma parte de la cultura y del día a día de nuestras empresas. Además, siendo esta este evento abierto a cualquier tipo de innovación, pues permite la colaboración estructurada con otras empresas y agentes innovadores. En nuestro caso es el sector audiovisual el que especialmente nos interesa, ¿no? Y esto nos permite, además, a través de nuestra participación, reforzar nuestro papel de motor y referencia en España en el sector audiovisual. Así es, con esto conseguimos enviar mensajes de innovación a la sociedad y al mismo tiempo damos fe de nuestra condición de servicio público. Hay que tener en cuenta que el interés que nos mueve en estas participaciones, aparte de aprovechar en lo posible todo aquello que resulte como éxito de estos emprendimientos, pues no nos mueve en absoluto el aspecto económico, muy al contrario. Y en esta línea funciona nuestro programa de innovación, que como conocéis es de innovación abierta, con el nombre de Impulsavisión, que está destinado al apoyo y al emprendimiento y la innovación tecnológica en el sector audiovisual fundamentalmente, lo que nos permite estar en contacto con las startups, participar en eventos como este y estar en contacto con las universidades, motor de la investigación. Mantenemos con las universidades diferentes convenios de investigación, fundamentalmente en el sector audiovisual, y también procuramos a través de conciertos, concursos, incentivos para universitarios, doctores, personas que han terminado máster para concurrir en proyectos, y en esta línea creo que nuestro director de estrategia tecnológica, Per Avila, ya habrá comunicado que ya se abre la 6ª edición de este programa nuestro de emprendimiento Impulsavisión. En cuanto a la Universidad de Salamanca, mantenemos una cátedra enfocada al emprendimiento y procuramos, dentro de nuestra modestia, porque como empresa pública estamos sometidos a una restricción financiera importante, pues participar en todo lo posible en los diferentes niveles de Startup OLE. Bueno, yo en realidad no añadiría nada más, porque quiero además sujetarme al tiempo que se nos había dicho, y únicamente añadir, como todos los demás colegas, desear que la convocatoria sea un éxito en organización y un éxito en resultado. Muchas gracias y gracias a todos los intervinientes.
Muchísimas gracias, Federico. Thank you very much, Federico. Now we carry on with the opening. We have a really great roundtable, if I'm right. Equipo, team, let's move along to the next roundtable. And I pass directly the floor to the round table moderated by Rodrigo Del Prado. Rodrigo Del Prado, can you hear us? Rodrigo, can you hear us?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so this
Morning, everybody.
Okay, hello everybody. So this is the next round table is about CEOs and big investors. So I pass you the floor, Rodrigo. So full stop and new paragraph. You are in charge.
Thanks, Emilio. Well, thank you, everybody. Let me please introduce our colleagues in the panel. I don't want to call it round table because there's no table and no round. We are each on our table, right? So let me introduce my partners, and then we will ask some questions to them so we can have an open discussion here. Let me first introduce José Bayón, who is CEO of ENISA. Jose is industrial engineer by the Polytechnic University of Madrid and production and logistics engineer by the Technical University of Munich. He is also master in political management by the Autonomous University of Barcelona. Part of his professional life has been carried out in the public sphere as Council for Economic Development, Employment and Innovation, and Council for Economic and Finance and Deputy Mayor of the city of Segovia. In the private sector, he has developed his activity as an engineer in different Spanish and German companies such as Daimler AG, Airbus, General Electric, or General Dynamics. In addition, Jose is also Secretary General of the Municipal Association PSOE Segovia and Secretary of Institutional Policy PSOE Castilla León. So thanks for being here, Jose. It's a pleasure. Sorry if the video is not accurate, but I take it from the website, so it's my mistake. In case something is bad, it's my mistake, okay? Don't blame anybody in communication. Next speaker is Marcelino Orega, CEO of Enagas. Marcelino Orega was born in Madrid. He is a patent and trademark agent and holds a degree in industrial engineering from the School of Engineering, ICAI, at the Pontifical University of Comillas. Since 2012, Marcelino Orega has been the CEO of Enagas, the leading natural gas transmission company in Spain and the technical manager of the gas system. Entrepreneur, before becoming a corporate executive, he founded DEF4 Patentes and Marcas, a patent and trademark agency that was sold to Garrigues Andersen in 1997, after he took on the role of CEO. Between 1992 and 1997, Marcelino Orega was the General Secretary of Spain's National Confederation of Young Entrepreneurs. So, Marcelino, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Our next speaker is, Jose Carlos Garcia, who is president of Ecoaccess. Jose Carlos Garcia has been executive chairman of Eco Group, consisted to Instituto de Crédito Oficial, and Axis, its venture capital subsidiary, at the Eco Foundation since 1918. He holds a master's degree in economics and business administration from the Complutense University of Madrid, and he is member of the State Economist and Trade Expert in Spain's Civil Service. Thanks for being here, Jose Carlos. And finally, lastly, we have here Francisco Velazquez, who is founder and president of Axon Partners. I think Francisco, I don't know if it's here. No video. Well, let me introduce him and wait a little to see if it's connecting or not. Francisco Velazquez is currently the president of Axon Partners Group, a global investment, alternative asset manager, and advisory firm that he founded in Madrid in 2006. He's also a board member of numerous companies such as NextGen and Captronic in India, O4IT and Mercadon in Latin America, and Finicens and Nice People at Work in Spain. Francisco has more than 25 years of experience in venture capital, investment banking, and strategic consulting. He has degrees in aerospace engineering and an MBA from the Universidad Politécnica de Madrid. So I don't know if is Francisco around? No. Well, so welcome him, even if he's not here. So let me introduce myself too. I'm Rodrigo Del Prado. I'm also engineer from the Polytechnic University of Madrid in telecommunications. I have been entrepreneur since entrepreneurs were not called entrepreneurs, so very long ago. And I'm founder of BigU. So Emilio asked me to moderate this roundtable. I think we have like 45 minutes, but if we can make it shorter, the next ones will thank us for that, right? So let's try to be brief. We are only 3 of us, 4 with me. So our idea is to get your insights from the perspective of the CEO or the maximum responsible of a company in such a complicated event as this one we are facing now, and also in more general terms. So instead of asking each of you a question and then not making a round table. Let's call it round table. I prefer if we can interact. My first question to you will be from your perspective as investors or public entities or corporations. What is the current state of the entrepreneurial ecosystem at a national and international level? So anybody can start.
Please to go and start. Well, first of all, Rodrigo, just let you know that I'll have to leave 35 minutes past 1. Have an
okay. So you are the first then, Marcelino.
Next one is not virtual, so I leave.
Okay.
So sorry for this. So yes, well, first of all, I would say that things are much better than they were 20 years ago. I mean, I built up my own company, as you said, in 1992. At that time, starting your own company was not even accepted by your family. I mean, no one really understood what were you doing as an engineer starting a company. Okay? Nowadays, if a young engineer starts his own company, he will be shown by his parents as a successful guy only by starting a company. So things have changed a lot. For big corporates like us, startups are an opportunity to look into new technologies or new ways to develop new products or services without the constraint that we have as big corporates. And we move very slowly. It's very difficult for us to get into new opportunities as a big company, and these are good opportunities. On the other hand, what's difficult for us many times for me is to convince my board, because I mean none of these investments will move the needle of our results. We are a company with around 50 million euros result after taxes. None of our investments are going to move the needle. So that's a big difficult part, to convince my board, the boards or my shareholders that this is important for us. This is important for the future. This is important. This is going to be the investments we do today are going to be important in 10 or 15 years' time.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. So who want to be the next? Okay, please. Jose Carlos, please.
Will you please repeat the question?
Sure. So, from your perspective as investors or public entities or corporations, in your case, first and second, what is the current state of entrepreneurial ecosystem at a national and international level? I suppose you are more focused on a national level, but what's your...
Eco and Access Group are focused both at national and international level, okay? Even we collaborate to attract international startups to set up in Spain, in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Valencia, in the Basque Country, in Galicia, in Andalusia, with the technology part and all the infrastructure we've got in our country, digital infrastructure, technological parks, well advanced and very competitive, and the relationship between human capital and labor costs in Spain are one of the most competitive in Europe, and we are very good position for international entrepreneurship coming to Spain. An event like yours is just a fact that we are in a good shape for that. Although perhaps the current situation because of the COVID, there are other concerns, and we are tackling with these concerns through our official credit institute banking activity. But for the entrepreneur, we complement that with Access, our venture capital affiliate, and we have done already a great effort, putting on the table a lot of resources, as I explained in my intervention in the round table, 500 million euro for the next 5 years. And the last call for Fondico Global has been focused above all in the incubation and first stage of the startup process and the technology transfers and technology-based companies working together with big corporate at Enagas in many projects, technological projects, sustainability projects with private investor, Eco and Access investor, and European Union funds mobilized all together. That is our role, and we are here to do that. And this is why we collaborate with ENISA, with DETI, with a lot of other governments, central government and regional government institutions to mobilize these resources for the private sector in the public-private partnership approach with all the responsibilities. So that's the way we are working with that. There is a very positive move in the Spanish ecosystem. This situation, because of the teleworking, digital infrastructure, has set up a good experience about the ability of Spain compared to other European Union partners to tackle and continue working in many sectors. Of course, it depends on the company, but the reactions of big corporations and medium-sized companies have been very positive on that. That's our approach. I want to focus that when we are talking about technology-based transfer of technology, digitalization, we are not talking of a single sector. These are transversal and multidimensional approach. These are dealing with all the sectors and all activity. We have to take into account that because this is the way we approach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So
I think this is my time.
Jose, please.
Rodrigo. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to share this time, not the table, but the time with Jose Carlos and also Marcelino and Jürgen. See, so well, in our opinion, the current stage of the entrepreneurship ecosystem has increased a lot during the last 10 years in Spain. This is something that we could see in ENISA through our participative loans and the companies that are asking for financial aids and so on. So the last 10 years have been very, very important for the entrepreneurial ecosystem, mainly because of the public support, this is clear, also because of the open innovation and the implication of the corporation, as Enagas is a very good sample, and also because of the culture, because of the education, and all this stuff, and for sure because of the effort of our entrepreneurs. Our entrepreneurs right now are able to be competitive in a global market. So the ecosystem has increased in the last year, and now this is for sure. It has to be like this. There is a very, very big uncertainty because of the COVID. But it is important to say and point out that this uncertainty has also very important difference with the last crisis during 2008. This is not a structural crisis. In our opinion, for the ecosystem, this is not a symmetric crisis. There are a lot of difference between sectors, high technological sector, or digitalization, sustainability, all these things, all these stuffs are in a much better position, and even are in a very good position for investments. So we can trace a lot of funds, and we can see that they are investing in several companies and startups and scale-ups that are very, very technological with a very good perspective. Okay, but on the other hand, we have a lot of SMEs that really need help. Okay, so this is this is not symmetric crisis, And on the other hand, my opinion, our opinion, the most or the biggest difference with another crisis, the last crisis, also for the entrepreneurial ecosystem, that is the question, is the reaction and the answer of the European Union and the institutions. This is a key point. This is a key factor. Next Generation EU deal is really important for the whole European area, but also for Spain. And it is also important to say that during this crisis we have realized several things that it should be good not to forget, not to be forgotten during the not crisis time. So when there is a crisis, everybody said, okay, what to do, what is necessary to do. Perhaps what we have to do is not to forget the crisis time when there is no crisis. And I would like to explain this. Here is Jose Carlos, the president of ICO. A lot of people were asking during the crisis for an ICO credit. Everybody was asking. When I was talking with an SMEs, where is I need an ICO credit? Okay, ICO credit has to be not only supported but also has to be prepared and in the public institution and in the public money. And this is important to care of it. The public institution and the public support is very important during the crisis, but not only the crisis. Everybody wanted a vaccine for the COVID and want a vaccine for the COVID, but to have a vaccine for the COVID, we need to have scientifics well paid and all this stuff, okay? And everybody wanted a lot of hydroalcoholic gels and masks and everything. And to have all this stuff, we need industry. So science, industry, public support, public money, everything has to be cared during the not crisis time, and everything has to be cared also from the public and private perspective, in our opinion. So we need resources for this, and this is something we have to remind in every time. So the ecosystem is in a relatively good position right now. Look in the future with uncertainty. It has to be like this. But in the short future, in the medium future, I think there are good perspective for the ecosystem.
Okay, thank you very much. Jose, sorry to interrupt. I think Marcelino has to leave, so let's say bye-bye to him. Sorry, I think you are muted.
More minutes.
You have, sorry?
8 more minutes until 12.
8 more minutes. Okay. I was thinking you have to leave, and I want to say goodbye just in case you have to leave rapidly. So then let's do the following. I have 2 more questions. I think we can mix them because it's more related to the CEO. So we can have your answer before you leave, and then I continue with Jose and Jose Carlos. Okay. So Marcelino, then the 2 questions are, well, which are the challenges faced by a CEO in a crisis like this one, that maybe is different from what's the day by day, and what can a CEO do to improve this situation? And then the third question is about loneliness in the decision making of the CEO. Being CEO is fantastic, but not every time is so fantastic. So, what's your point of view in this situation, in this loneliness to make the decisions by yourself? Have you ever felt it? When it was? What's the biggest time it happens?
But I think that when a crisis like this comes to us, well, the CEO is not as important as people think. I mean, we are part of a team, and it's the team that reacts correctly. Okay, perhaps what we can do as a CEO, as a manager of a company, is to build that team properly and have that team working together and reacting to the crisis. Very good team working together. We had digitalized the company, so we were somehow very well prepared digitally, and we went out of work and we worked from the home very quickly and very easily, and things have worked properly during this crisis. The other question we make ourselves is, what can we do for others during the crisis? What can we do for our customers, for our people, and for society itself? So what we've done as a company, and related to startups, we launched a program called Energía Positiva, and we have promoted some and invested in some startups that had some type of solutions around energy. This was an energy program, and fighting against COVID. So we can do a lot, but I think the better thing we can do is to build a team that can react properly. It's not ourselves. We are not as important as people think. On the other hand, you were asking me as the loneliness of the CEO. I mean, related to the previous answer. If you have a correct team, you are able to have all the information, even if you are the responsible. You have the responsibility and you take decisions, but it's the thing that makes you be in the right position. But it's true, sometimes you have this type of loneliness. That's part of the game, and perhaps it's also part of the attractiveness of being manager of a company. I mean, you take the decision, so you are running the business itself. So that loneliness is also nice.
Okay, thank you very much for being so to the point and for the recommendation, because I totally agree that the best thing we can ever do is to build a team that make the company or the group prepare for what is going to come, that you never know. You can foresee something, but things like what we are suffering now is something nobody can foresee. So the companies have proven that they were ready, because most of them or some of them are dealing with it. So Marcelino, thank you very much. And if you want, I know your agenda is so tight, so you can leave whenever you want. Okay, so you will save 4 or 5 minutes more.
I will listen to you a few minutes and I'll leave without.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Bye in advance. Okay, so please, José Carlos, let's do the same. Let's mix the two questions together, so we can try to more or less follow the schedule. But we have 3 minutes, so Emilio has to forgive us because we started late, so we will finish late. It will be no linear, I hope, but we will have some delay.
Okay, so I will be mixing the two questions.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, I do not believe in the loneliness or solitude of the top of the CEO. Okay, it's just a phrase. I don't believe in that. Listen, a CEO, a chairman, is nothing, is nobody without the staff, without its worker, and without its company and the resources of the company. Okay, we have to think like a team. But a CEO or chairman knows perfectly that if something goes wrong, he is the only responsible. But if something is right and there is a success, this is a shared success. It's a success of everybody. This is the approach how we work, okay? Having said that, when we have to confront the situation generated by the COVID at the very beginning, it seems that has been a long time, but it's only a few months ago, okay? We have to react very quickly, to think very fast, to coordinate in an accelerated way, and to take a lot of decisions, reading, listening, and even imagination, okay? How can we resolve all these situations that nobody in a generation has tackled before? There are no reference out there. Nobody is able to tell you what to do. You have to imagine what to do. But everything has been done with the public-private partnership. ECO, the entrepreneurs, the small and medium-sized company, the banking system, the small and medium in many geographic areas have been working together. The first target was to maintain the payments, the renting, the suppliers, payment, everything, to make most of the companies survive the situation and be ready now for the recovery, the growth, with a more positive perspective. And this was our target. In few days, in 10 days, 15 days, we started working on that. But this has been a team. And when I'm talking to team, it's not only Eco team, it's Spain as a whole. Because here we are together, all together. This is our country, this is our institution, and these are our companies. And we have to take care of everything and respect them.
You are very right. This is like the World Cup. We are a team. So we have to be together as a team. Yeah.
Yes, this is clear. I fully agree with two big CEOs as Marcelino and Jose Carlos. The CEO, we are just the trainers, so we are nothing without the teams, the company, the resources. It's very important, always. And the question is perhaps not what can we do, but also what we have to do, because it's our must. This is a must for us to react, to prepare the organization, to get resources. Sometimes the more difficult thing, the most frustrating thing for us, for the chairman or the CEOs, is to get more resources and to fight, let's say, fighting with other organizations in order to consolidate and so on. But at the end of the day, our main, I would say, our main must is for sure to keep the present time. This is clear, but also thinking all the time in the future time. So we have to think in the next step always. It's very important. We have to be, in my opinion, the first person in our companies who is thinking in the next step. This is very important, and always taking care of it and going ahead. So this is very important for the managerial staff in the public sector, but also in the private sector, to work in the present, assure the medium future, and think in the long-term future. This is something that we have to do, and this is a must. This is not something that we can do, but something that we have to do. During this time, this is clear, as Jose Carlos has explained, so they have to react very, very, very fast. The public administration is not especially easy to react fast, because it's difficult, okay? And we have to do the same during the crisis. We have to renegotiate a lot of loans. We have to try to push the new credit lines, and doing everything with the people at home, working at home. By the way, I would like to point out and thank all the NISA team, because of the commitment and the hard work during this crisis. They are still working, some of them at home, but with a very, very high level. And this is important. React fast, flexible for sure, and always thinking in the next step to assure the future of the company.
I cannot say anything more. I fully agree with the three of you. I will just highlight some of the things you have said to wrap it up, before thanking you and letting the next roundtable to happen. Build a team, be prepared. You are the one responsible for the mistakes, and you share the success with the team. That's perfectly true, and working today, thinking on tomorrow. So at the end of the day, it's like logic or common sense is what you are supposed to do. When you are an entrepreneur, you are both CEO and are the cleaning guy who cleans the office. When the company is bigger, there are separation, but it's always the same. So thank you very much, two of you and Marcelino, who is not here. It's a pleasure, and I think we were fast, but we managed to get some highlights. And sure, the next one coming after us will like that. We'll appreciate that, because now it's lunchtime or almost lunchtime. So I think we done it properly. Maybe they call it for next year when it's there with jamón and that nice things of Salamanca. So thank you, everybody.
Okay.
And see you next year. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good luck. See you.
Same for you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, guys. Thank you, everybody. And now we pass to the final round table. Sorry for the small delay. So now I'm asking my team to present the new round table. As you can see now, improving your speed, cost and deal flow, powered by Acciona, a great supporter of Startup Ole. So let's see if the speaker, the moderator and speakers are there. So can you hear us, guys?
Yes.
Jose Maria. So thank you for the collaboration. Thank you for organizing such a great roundtable, and we are looking for getting your insights and knowledge. So please pass the floor to the speakers.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you see and hear my slides? Yes? No? Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So it's a real pleasure to be here in the corporate venturing panel discussion that we're going to have today. My name is Jose Maria Ciot, Executive Director at Eic Business School, and we're going to split the session today in two parts. Number one, we're going to present the most cutting-edge results of our joint study with Eic, Jellyfy, Acciona, and then we're going to have a second section panel discussion with Diego and Telmo. We will present them later. Also, I would like to thank Startup Ole for the invitation. The first section is going to be in English. The second section is going to be in Spanish. Ready? Let's start. I would like to start with this example. Who is Adam Wilson, co-founder of Spur, a startup that creates those beautiful DD droids of Star Wars. On 2014, they were thinking, do we have to do one of those acceleration programs that in that case, the acceleration program was run by Disney and Techstars? They finally say yes. But this is just one example of the type of collaborations that we're going to see today, in which there is one corporation, in this case Disney, one startup, in this case Sparrow, and one institution or person in the middle, in this case, in this story, Techstars. But what's corporate venturing? A question that we have listened in many places, and depending on to who we ask, we receive a different answer. Corporate venturing is any collaboration between an established company and an innovative startup to adopt new innovations. As you can see in the framework in the slide, this is a subset of innovation. And also, as you can see in the slide, this is not just corporate venture capital, as some of those think, but this is much richer, from venture clients, venture builders, hackathons, and more. One of the reasons these collaborations have been so growing, so emerging, and has grown fourfold since 2013 is because of this win-win. All the corporations that you are in the room, please check the left side of the box, and maybe you can see yourself there, no? So we are a slow organization, sometimes with a higher aversion to risk and many other characteristics, and then startups. I know that there are 100 of startups in the room. If you can see the right box, maybe you can see also, we can see ourselves there with tight resources, distribution channels. Then the interesting part of this phenomenon is that the weaknesses of some are the strengths of the others. Many of you have asked myself, and we have asked to the ecosystem, is the end of corporate venturing after this recession or this crisis that we have experienced in the past months? think that the answer is no, but we have to understand the context in perspective. If we check what we have experienced in the past months, is an extremely high level of volatility between near 3 to 6 times. And that uncertainty is producing that corporations are reducing costs, trying to increase the speed, agility to react to changes, and anticipation of opportunities. So this provides two data. One is that we have experienced, so we have a high uncertainty, a volatility between 3 to 6 times of what we have experienced before in previous years. And another data that I include here, around 75% of these collaborations failed. The question is, how can we, what those 25% makes a difference? How can we improve, reduce the cost, increase the speed, and other things in this process? It was what we are going to see today. But let's zoom in on where is the gap, the unanswered questions. For that, two little concepts first. One, what's a corporate venturing enabler? Many of you have heard the phenomenon of corporate venturing, as we discussed before, corporations and a startup. An enabler is just an institution or a person in the middle that supports this collaboration. An enabler, someone or an institution that is outside the corporation. And this is not, maybe you are thinking, oh, this consulting or this, that, or that other consulting firm. However, the reality is much richer. From an enabler can be a private accelerator, a research center, a venture capital firm, an embassy, and many more. And when we, let's say, sophisticate even more this collaboration, we can have one corporation plus many startups and many enablers, creating a corporate, what we call a corporate venturing ecosystem. But now the gap. Less concepts. I know that you are not coming for concepts, you are coming for recommendations, for data, for trends. So where's the gap here? So far, we have seen many academics, publications, practitioners, experts that have talked, that have discussed when to build or to partner and the reasons why. And here we have some examples of the pros and cons. But the question is the same those pros and cons for corporate venturing? And the answer is no. What we're going to see today are those two questions. When you're a chief innovation officer, a corporation, or a government supporting a corporation, or an entrepreneur and a startup that wants to understand a corporation. So when you're a corporation and you're deciding to either build or partner to create a corporate venturing mechanism, a corporate accelerator, a corporate hackathon, and others, how do you take that decision? It's a tough decision. And the second one, once you have decided to go with a supporter, with an enabler, how do you choose the best enabler? How do you choose between A and B? And based on near 100 interviews with chief innovation officers worldwide, this is what we are going to see the answers today. And the results were the following. This chart shows what are the most common aspects a chief innovation officer uses to decide to whether build internally a corporate venturing mechanism or partner with an enabler. Aspect number one, in 26% of the cases, score. Is the search field, for instance, a new technology, 5G, AI, is the search field connected with my core business? If it's connected with my core business, maybe I prefer to do it internally. Core business. Second, capability. Do I have already a skill team, program process to execute that corporate venturing mechanism? Deal flow. Do I have not only the quantity, but the quality, the filtering of those opportunities, of those startups, scale-ups, discoveries? The cost, not only on the employees, but the direct cost to create that mechanism. The speed. How much time do I need? Something that more and more startups are measuring to select with which corporation they want to work with. The search field, do we have the right knowledge to search? And then availability. If I want to start tomorrow at 9 a.m., I am ready. Then in the following chart, what you can see is that depending on the mechanism, this is the same chart, but segmented, granulated by mechanism. From challenge prices in the left axis to venture client and the percentage. So you can see that the aspects are the same, but you can compare. you can see that the top three aspects, if you have to summarize, would be connection with the core business, capability, and deal flow, as you can see in the 70% of the cases. But you can see that there are deviations. For instance, if you go to the capability, the orange one, on the corporate venture capital, is much longer, for instance, compared to the startup acquisition. So depending on the corporate venture mechanism, the criteria sometimes change. Then the second question that we discussed, and wait a second, because after this, there are a lot of examples that I know that you are thinking what he's talking about. We will see examples just later. So the second question, now you have decided to say, so you are a corporation, chief innovation officer, you decide to go with an enabler. How do you choose the best one? In the case of Disney, why they chosen Techstars among others? Those are the criteria they usually use. On 38% of the cases, proven capability. Be careful, now it's not only capability, but proven capability. How can you prove? You have the skill team and the proven process with success ratios, success stories, and more. Existing ecosystem now is more sophisticated. It's not just deal flow, but do you have access to mentors, to developers, to startups? The search field expertise, we have seen this before, in this case, in 12% of the cases, the gray area. Trust of tailoring. Can I trust the enabler? What's my relationship, historical relationship with him or with her? Are they going to tailor the service for my company? Holistic cost, also considering legacy costs and others. Public reputation. If I ask to the ecosystem, and here in Startup Ole, there are a lot of representatives of the entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem, what do you think about that enabler? International rankings, maturity, references, proven speed, again, proven. How much is the average time span? Cross-pollination, do I going to learn with that enabler? And here again, we can see the segmentation that I'm going to only highlight on this chart, that in 70% of the cases, in the majority of the cases, the top three to choose the best enabler are proven capability with these definitions, existing ecosystem, and search field. And now what? The slide that you were waiting for. So how can I apply all these insights, all this data tomorrow at 9 a.m. if I am a corporation, a government, an entrepreneur, or even a university? Just 6 recommendations that are the conclusions of the study. Number 1, as a corporation, protect your core business when running a corporate venture mechanism. What does it mean? It's not the same when you are partnering with for a co-working space with WeWork that, for instance, what MasterCard did partnering to develop a new deal flow of startups in Europe. Are different levels, so protect your core. Second, choose the capabilities rather than packaging, but here especially have a process for filtering the enablers. In this case here, in the left side, you have how Samsung was explaining how they wanted to enter into the Israel market, and they did a fund of funds strategy in which they were investing part of their funds of the corporate venture capital in different private venture capital funds locally in Israel. They not only increase the deal flow and access to deal flow, but also the filtering of the ecosystem. Number 3, keep in mind, enablers are not just consulting firms. The boundaries are getting blurry of who does what, so the reality is more richer. Keep in mind all the enablers that we discussed before. Number 4, every day you are less as a corporation, less unique. You have more corporations hunting the same top-tier entrepreneurs. So working with more enablers, even corporations, as we're going to see in the next one, can improve the value proposition to the entrepreneur that you're offering. And for this now, I want to share with you the story of QuestStation, a program run by BNP Paribas, the financial services company, in which they, after the financial crisis, they were having some real estate. They evolved the co-working space to having startups that later they introduce also corporations and investors having an ecosystem, so having co-working spaces with those 3 agents. And then they realize, hey, this is getting interesting. We can offer consultant services to corporations, tailoring agendas of entrepreneurs, of deal flow. And now that is the last step, now that they are already offering those services and getting some new revenue stream for their corporate venture units. Now they are replicating in different sectors, even outside the financial sector, and also by regions. So corporations, here you have a new revenue stream. So you can be an enabler for other corporations, what we call the corporate venturing squads, these little groups of corporations working together towards corporate venturing. And the last one, if you're an enabler, much ado about nothing, as the film. So proving capability is the most frequent aspect considered. So try to undersell and over-deliver results. So these are, in short, the 6 conclusions. And if you have liked I hope, the results, you can download right now, so you can check your iPhone or your Android or any iPhone you have, any mobile you have. You can go to the QR code and you will get today, right now, the report in your mobile phone. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to start introducing the panel discussion with Acciona and Jellyfy. Thank you very much. While we are introducing, and the speakers are getting their cameras on and their mics on, I'm checking 1 and 2. Perfect. We are already ready there. So today we have the pleasure to have 2 amazing experts, international experts on this topic of corporate venturing, and we're going to see more into detail what we have discussed, but in their experiences, in their bodies. I would like to, rather than doing long introductions, you know already, so Telmo is the Chief Innovation Officer of Acciona, and Diego is the Chief Executive Officer for Jellyfy in Spain. I would like to run directly to the question. So Telmo, and now I pass to the Spanish. Telmo, me gustaría preguntarte lo siguiente. En Acciona, en los últimos años habéis desarrollado un ecosistema de startups, ¿no? Pues magnífico, con este Acciona Innovation, donde estáis con presencia en más de 20 países y estáis ofreciendo cosas como estas pruebas de concepto, ¿no? en 3 meses y muchas otras colaboraciones que estáis haciendo con startups. Muchas corporaciones se preguntan cuándo coger la innovación dentro y cuándo coger la innovación fuera, cuándo hacer ese tipo de colaboraciones. ¿Qué criterios sugieres? Si tienes algún ejemplo así que puedas explicar sobre esto.
Muchas gracias, José María. Bueno, agradecerte la presentación y que ha sido un placer trabajar con IS, contigo, con tu equipo en este research que realmente creo que es muy útil para todo el entorno del corporate venturing, especialmente para las corporaciones y terceros, entes de todo tipo que ayudan a que colaboremos cada vez más con las startups. Respecto a la pregunta, que efectivamente es muy buena y tuvimos que hacer una reflexión estratégica al respecto, había una razón bastante obvia, y es que a pesar de la apuesta estratégica por parte de la compañía para todo lo que tiene que ver con innovación e I+D desde hace muchos años, sí que era una innovación más enfocada hacia adentro, más de I+D, más de laboratorio, y sí que perdíamos de vista un poco toda la transformación digital y también la evolución o la aparición de nuevos modelos de negocio que a lo mejor en un entorno tan industrial como el nuestro no era tan obvio, pero que estaban llegando y están llegando de forma acelerada, ¿no? Con lo cual había ya una cuestión casi de necesidad, ¿no? en el ir a buscar a las startups como fuente de innovación disruptiva y digital, ¿no? En un entorno abierto. Y había otra segunda, que es que en esta reflexión lo que identificamos es que nuestros 2 negocios principales, ¿no? Como son las energías renovables y las infraestructuras, los ecosistemas no estaban tan desarrollados y sí que podíamos jugar un rol, por un lado, que ayudase al ecosistema a desarrollarse y, por otro, a nosotros a posicionarnos como un nodo o un agente relevante dentro de ese ecosistema y dar para, al mismo tiempo, obtener o sembrar para obtener en el medio plazo también esos réditos de cuando una plataforma o un ecosistema empiezan a trabajar también por ti o para ti, ¿no? Y en ese contexto es donde, por ejemplo, gran parte de lo que has explicado pues tiene un sentido y vamos construyendo paso a paso, porque lógicamente es todo un trabajo y bueno, pues cuando uno tiene un enfoque internacional, ir con la velocidad a la que está evolucionando el corporate venturing, pues además de avanzar, tienes que estar al tanto de todo lo nuevo, ¿no?
Es interesante esto que decías de ecosistemas, ¿no? Porque el otro día viendo la página de Jellyfy, ¿no? Ahí veo que poníais, ¿no? Que conectáis a inversores, corporaciones, emprendedores, tenéis esos 12 clústeres a nivel internacional tecnológicos. Y entonces me acuerdo que habláis de gelificación, incluso ecosistemas for profit, ¿no? De rendimiento. ¿Podrías explicar esto un poco más con algún ejemplo o lecciones aprendidas?
Sí, claro, ¿qué tal? Bueno, hola a todos también. Gracias por haberme invitado, gracias a Telmo por hacerlo posible, y a Acciona y José María, contigo también. Un placer haber trabajado en este informe. Mi opinión va a estar del lado del enabler, ¿eh? Nosotros al final lo que estamos haciendo aquí es poniendo a disposición tools y metodologías para poder ayudar a que estas cosas pasen, ¿no? Las cosas que tú comentabas recién en el informe, que hemos identificado, estamos de ese lado. Al final, un poco el valor de uniqueness, ¿no? Como dicen los americanos, en nuestro caso, es el haber empezado por haber creado un gran ecosistema, ¿no? O sea, creemos que ahora mismo la única forma que tenemos nosotros de poder ayudar a las corporaciones, dado que hay corporaciones que tienen gran trayectoria en innovación y que han hecho cosas espectaculares, entre ellos Acciona, que tenemos aquí, es que hay muchas capacidades o muchos servicios o muchas metodologías que se han comodizado, que se han interiorizado en las compañías, y que lo cual es muy sano, además, que pase. Es decir, los equipos internos de las compañías tienen cada vez más conocimiento, tienen más conocimiento del ecosistema, tienen más conocimiento de las herramientas, y ellos mismos ya hay cosas que los pueden hacer perfectamente. Con lo cual, el posicionamiento que nos deja a nosotros, a estos facilitadores que somos de este tipo de relaciones y de estas metodologías y de la creación del negocio a través de la innovación, es al final el poder ser únicos y poder estar en una posición totalmente diferente a la que puede tener una percepción de una corporación para una startup, ¿no? Y aquí sí que nosotros lo que hemos hecho es creado un triple ámbito, ¿no? Trabajamos con inversores porque ya tenemos, digamos, fondos de inversión, 2 fondos de inversión que están a disposición para poder coinvertir con corporaciones, que es un instrumento necesario también para poder crecer. No todas las corporaciones tienen un CVC o tienen planes de hacerlo, y es importante tener ahí un cierto nivel de inversión. Otro nivel es trabajar con los startups mismos, es decir, no todos los startups que se encuentran en un proceso de scouting o en una call están preparados para trabajar en escala con ciertas corporaciones, por lo cual necesitan un enabler, en este caso como nosotros, para ponerse al lado de la startup y ayudarlos a que tengan esa escalabilidad y esas capabilities. Y luego la tercera parte, que es al final estar dentro de la compañía como un equipo más, como una extensión, generando confianza, y dándoles esas capacidades que ellos o no tienen por cantidad de staff interno, necesitan externalizarlo, necesitan que se conecte con cosas que ellos no tienen actualmente en su ámbito, etcétera. O sea, intentamos constantemente que lo que es el offering esté siempre al servicio de esta evolución que estaban viviendo las compañías alrededor del corporate venture.
Es interesante también lo que comentabas, ¿no? Que a veces, o sea, no solamente tenemos aquí corporaciones, tenemos emprendedores, también tenemos inversores, ¿no? Y a veces, y esta pregunta va para ti, Telmo, que hay ¿quién es mejor, no? Una corporación, un inversor privado, ¿no? VC versus CVC y esta serie de cosas. Ahí me gustaría entender cuál es tu perspectiva, Telmo, y también qué recomiendas a otras corporaciones cuando hay una corporación que trabaja con un inversor privado, ¿no? Si eso funciona, si no funciona, cómo hacer que esa colaboración funcione. ¿Qué recomiendas?
La verdad es que la relación entre corporación y VC es algo que entiendo que debería reforzarse, porque yo odio bastante el término win-win, digamos, ¿no? Pero en este caso creo que aplica bastante bien, porque al contrario que a veces otro tipo de relaciones entre enablers a lo mejor no es tan obvia, aquí hay un matching bastante bueno, ¿no? O sea, al final, VC pues ha filtrado, ha hecho un scouting y ha hecho un análisis detallado o due diligence antes de realizar una inversión, con lo cual tiene, pues eso, un assessment muy bueno de por qué ha realizado esa inversión y cuáles son las perspectivas de esa startup, ¿no? Análisis o tiempo dedicado ya muy válido para cualquier corporación que muchas veces tiene demasiados frentes abiertos, ¿no? Por otro lado, pues el VC siempre le interesa tener una corporación de mano, porque puede ser cliente de esas startups invertidas, puede ser LP en su propio fondo, o puede ser un coinversor en sus tesis de inversión de confianza, y que mientras el VC lidere las rondas de financiación, el socio industrial puede aportar bastantes cosas, aparte de beneficiarse del esfuerzo principal del VC, con lo cual yo creo que sí que es una relación muy buena y que las corporaciones deben explorar quizá un poquito más. En Estados Unidos está esto ya más trabajado, pero a lo mejor en Europa no tanto, ¿no? Y entonces, bueno, en cuanto a cosas que podría a lo mejor recomendar, más allá de estrechar lazos con el mundo del Venture Capital, creo que es importante también empezar a plantearse cada vez más pues invertir o ser el PIS en Venture Capital independientes, más allá de la fiebre del CVC, que muchas veces, por un lado, uno casi lo hace por arrastre y otras veces lo hace sin tenerlo demasiado claro o simplemente el tamaño de la compañía no da para ello, ¿no? Con lo cual, explorar que el balance que uno tiene versus invertir directamente o a través de otros, creo que debe ser, bueno, pues recapacitado y asumido de manera principal en una estrategia sólida de corporate venturing.
Ahí has comentado, Telmo, esta colaboración entre corporaciones inversores privados. No sé, Diego, ¿tú qué opinas cuando es corporación-corporación, lo que hemos descrito como el corporate venturing squads? ¿Cuál crees que son los dos principales errores?
Es una gran pregunta. Al final, esto es una relación que hasta ahora no se llevaba mucho. Es muy difícil. O sea, generalmente con la generación las generaciones que tenemos en compañías a nivel de innovación, es decir, todas las nuevas fases cuando una compañía está aprendiendo la innovación, al final es un camino bastante aislado. Es decir, al final la conexión siempre está o con startups o, como describía recién Telmo, con venture capitals, ¿no? Por ejemplo, es una relación muy interesante. Con otras corporaciones es algo que se está propiciando mucho, nosotros últimamente lo estamos viendo, y más con este contexto que tenemos ahora de COVID, donde muchas compañías no llegan a poder o captar el ecosistema que quieren o atraer al talento que necesitan, o a veces tienen que lo ideal es poder, digamos, buscar unir fuerzas con otras compañías, ¿no? Nosotros este tipo de squads lo llamamos, digamos, cross innovation, y es algo súper interesante que ya hay algunos modelos de mercado y que al final es trabajar una cadena de valor completa, donde las compañías pueden colaborar entre sí, buscar retos en común, identificar tecnologías o formas de hacer cosas donde pueden haber colaboraciones muy interesantes. Los dos grandes errores, pues tal vez uno de los grandes errores es pensar que este tipo de colectivos cuando se juntan, o estos consorcios, entre comillas, hay alguno de mercado que lo que está haciendo al final simplemente es un tema de imagen, es decir, al final se juntan, pero cada uno tiene su reto y no colaboran entre sí, ¿no? Y esto creo que es uno de los grandes errores. Al final, si te juntas, has de ser colaborativo, has de ser transparente y has de poner sobre la mesa muy claramente y rápido qué tipo de assets o qué tipo de capacidades tú pones encima de la mesa. Esto nosotros lo estamos practicando con empresas, sobre todo cuando están visualizando caminos outcore, ¿no? Fuera de lo que es el core business de la compañía, y ahí sí que les viene muy bien el poder combinarse con otras compañías que tengan otras capacidades que ellos no tienen, sea una audiencia de clientes, o sea una penetración en un mercado, o sean assets tecnológicos, y ahí sí que estamos viendo que esto está incrementando mucho, este tipo de colaboración. Las empresas se dan cuenta de que hay mucho valor, ¿no?
Entonces, estoy viendo el reloj y veo que nos quedan 30 segundos, pero me gustaría antes preguntaros a cada uno una última pregunta, a sintetizar en 10, 15 segundos cada uno, que va a ser distinta. En la audiencia tenemos muchas corporaciones y muchos emprendedores. Por tanto, a ti, Telmo, te preguntaría, ¿qué recomendación darías a los emprendedores que tienes en la sala que quieren trabajar con corporaciones, algo que puedan aplicar mañana a las 9 a.m., y lo mismo de mañana a las 9 a.m., Diego, pero a las corporaciones, que cuando trabajan con emprendedores, una recomendación que pueden aplicar mañana? En 10 segundos, y empiezas, Telmo.
Visto. Vale. Muy rápidamente, un consejo que más de una vez he dado a emprendedores trabajando o atacando la corporación es que midan muy bien los esfuerzos. Quiero decir, la corporación no siempre, aunque parezca que estás hablando con ella, está haciendo realmente caso de lo que planteas o de lo que estás haciendo. Entonces, importante identificar una necesidad y, sobre todo, una persona o un equipo en la corporación comprometidos con empujar esa idea. Y si uno siente que esa persona o equipo o la necesidad no están, que no empuje demasiado. Puede ser tiempo muy mal invertido. Y en ese sentido, por ejemplo, hablando de Acciona, sí que tenemos identificado para precisamente evitar este tipo de confusiones, en el equipo de innovación abierta y en concreto en innovation.com tenemos un punto de entrada para todos los emprendedores y startups que nos quieran plantear cosas y todas ellas son analizadas y todas ellas tienen respuesta.
Vale, por tanto me quedo con necesidad, contacto, esfuerzo. Diego, ¿cuál es tu recomendación?
En mi caso muy similar a Telmo, en el sentido de mi recomendación sería foco, o sea, ¿para qué quiero abrir ese canal con ese emprendedor? Curación, es decir, tener muy claro con quién te vas a sentar, tener muy orientación o preparación interna, es decir, antes de sentarte a lo que decía Telmo recién, es tener bien claro de que vas a poder deglutir, vas a poder procesar eso que estás abriendo, es decir, sentarte con una startup no significa comprarla o significa solamente hablar, significa integrar un proceso que muchas veces no estás preparado y tener claro eso que va a pasar. Y yo creo que esas son las grandes recomendaciones. Poner sentido común a esta relación, entender que de otro lado hay una startup que este tipo de relación va a ser importante, que van a tener que invertir tiempo y para ellos es importante y por lo tanto máximo respeto y una relación lo más transparente posible de minuto uno.
Transparencia e integración de valor. Con esto, para ser puntuales, dejamos este panel. Telmo, Diego, ha sido un placer haber aprendido vosotros. Un fuerte aplauso de todos y hasta pronto.
Gracias, José María. Gracias, Diego.
Gracias, Telmo. Gracias, Diego.
Thank you also to Acciona and the speakers for such a great panel. And now, it's time to recap and to have a break. So let's carry on this afternoon, all content for free. We want you to follow us. Thank you, guys. See you later. And let's be together. And 1, 2, 3, startup, ole!